Hello, my name is Resilan, and welcome to Satisfactory.
In a previous episode, we walked through the new plant where we were making copper sheets, and we had relocated our silica factory and for silica and quartz, and had moved that over up on top of the hill up there and increased the production of that. Now all of that's now going onto a train that's going crossing my rail over here. I've reworked this railway a little bit. It's a shallower slope going up through there, less steep incline, and then I've got a crossing route that goes across that. And you'll notice over here there's a train that goes around and goes over there, and that's what we're going to go take a look at now. Is in order to build the computer factory that I want to build, I need more rubber and plastic. So one of the things that I did was I took the train line over here and we started looking at how I was going to get the rubber and plastic. Now the current plant is sitting on top of a hill over here. As we come in down my rail line, you can see on top of the hill behind my steel factory is my original rubber and plastic plant. Now that's still there. I haven't moved that, but that was built on top of, well, there's two oil nodes up there. Both of them are impure nodes, and so there's not a lot of oil there, and so it's a small space, and that's already overclocked to some extent and producing the original items that I had. Those items are being used in what I'm already producing. So instead, what I decided to go is to go further over onto the coast where there is some more oil nodes and bring that oil in and produce a factory that would produce 210 plastic, 240 rubber, and 60 packaged fuel per minute. Now, I can also use the packaged fuel. There's things that I need that for. And so this was one of the things that I did. I wind back here on the back side of the area. Now, right up there on top of the hill, if I go up just a little bit, you can see the factory right there in the background that I have that is my original rubber factory. We have a train station here that's actually Borgstena, and that's obviously not the correct pronunciation. I'm not even going to try to guess at how that's pronounced. That's okay. But we have here a recycled plastic factory where we are producing the items that we need for the rubber and the plastic. So I'm going to walk you through the setup here for what we have and how we're managing to produce this. Now there is our packaged fuel coming down through here. I do have resource sinks, the awesome sinks here, to sink anything that is not being used. I am, at a very slow rate, but I am putting fuel on the train. I am putting rubber and plastic on the train. And all of this is going to be delivered over to my computer factory once I build the computer factory. So this is all getting ready for building out computers. So going to the resource nodes, and what I'm doing is I am pulling in a resource node here. This is a oil node that I am harvesting at 180 per minute. I have overclocked this to produce 180 crude oil per minute. So we have the crude oil here pulling out of this. I have a switch to power this plant on or off if I need to turn it on or off for some reason. So I bring in the fuel originally. I come in here and I'm using the original fuel crude oil to produce heavy oil residue. And I have a row of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe they're all running at 100%. And so there's 6 refineries, and these are producing several things. They're producing 240 heavy oil residue, and it is producing 120 polymer resin. Now the polymer resin is then being shipped out. If we come over here, you can see the polymer resin coming out here, and it's going out of this building and going into the other building over there. The other building is producing rubber. So I'm using the polymer resin, that 120 polymer resin, to produce 60 rubber per minute, and so converting that. Then I also have here some refineries here. This refinery is taking plastic and fuel, and I am using that. This is a recycled rubber blueprint. I'm using that to produce rubber. Now the recycled rubber is coming in, and what I'm doing here is I've got 6.667 refineries that are producing recycled rubber. They are producing 180 rubber that is coming out of these, and I'm bringing this in here. So one of this is the rubber coming out that you see coming out here, and it's being shipped outside the building here. And then some of the rubber is going over here into another set of refineries that I'm using to build recycled plastic. Now the recycled plastic is 7.333 refineries, so there's a little bit more refineries for the recycled plastic, and the recycled plastics are producing. They're coming out using fuel and doing the recycled plastic to produce the things here. Now, once the recycled plastic comes out of here, that stuff is shipped over here. You can see here that I've got packagers that are taking fuel and empty canisters and that are producing packaged fuel. That's what's being fed into my fuel. That comes down here and is coming over here into the row here and is feeding both the recycled rubber and the recycled plastic factories. I then have, that's the packagers coming in here. This row of refineries is taking the heavy oil residue from the first step in the process back down the line and is producing that and packaged water to produce packaged fuel. So this is a fairly complex setup, but I mean it is, coming in here. So there's packaging that is going on here. You can see the heavy oil residue that's coming from the very beginning down here, being shipped down through here into this set of refineries. And so the refineries that are producing the packaged fuel, I've got 8 of these refineries that are producing recycled fuel. Over here, I have packagers that are packaging water. Now the water is coming from outside. If we come out here and just kind of look at it there, I have 5 water extractors over there that are sending a full pipe 600 water per minute down here. I'm then splitting that and with a couple of valves controlling the rate of liquid that is coming through on the various different places here. Piping water in to a couple of different scenarios and the pieces that I'm building that require water. I have to have the packaged water here, which is some of the water that I need, and then the recycled plastic and the recycled rubber both also require the recycled rubber actually requires water. I don't think the recycled the residual rubber, I should say, takes water. The recycled rubber takes fuel, and rubber and fuel are plastic for the other one. So I've got, sorry for that, a little bit of misconfusion there, misstatement of the information. So the water is going into the residual rubber blueprints. And so I've got, with the empty canisters coming over here, these are being fed and feeding in the system here. You can see the empty canisters are coming in here. Now if we were to go back down, just wander right down through here a little bit, I do have a constructor here that is producing empty canisters. And this constructor here is producing all of the empty canisters that I need. It takes in plastic and then ships out canisters. So I'm using some of the plastic that I create to create canisters. I'm using some of the plastic for recycled rubber, and I'm shipping 210 plastic per minute out of my plant onto the train to go to the computer factory and ultimately go on, be shipped on to my storage facility, the excess. So and then the rubber, kind of the same thing. I got 240 rubber per minute being produced. I'm using some of the rubber to produce recycled plastic, and then the rest of the rubber is being shipped out and being sent out to the other place. As far as the fuel goes, I am using some of the fuel to actually do for the recycled rubber and recycled plastic, but using the rest of the fuel to go into packaged fuel, and I am sending 60 packaged fuel per minute out to be onto the train. And so from an original 180 crude oil, I am producing 210 plastic, 240 rubber, and 60 packaged fuel per minute. And that is all going onto my train and being sent out there. You can see the fuel that's being shipped out here. You see the plastic that's being shipped out there. If we come over here, we haven't looked inside this other building around the corner. This building right here is where I am also producing the residual rubber. This is the blueprint it's consuming the polymer resin and some of the water in order to produce more rubber. So I am consuming everything that I can, recycling it to produce more, and then we put it on the train here. And we can see here, if we go back into here, I'm putting a fair amount of rubber and plastic into one of the cars, and then I'm putting the fuel into the other car. I'm only doing 60 per minute, so that's just a Mark 1 belt going in there. The others, the 240 and the 210, both of those will fit within that's 450. That consumes that's a little less than that Mark 4 belt will allow to go in, so that's 480 on the belt. So all of that goes into, I'm producing that and putting it on my train. Now we will get on the train right now, and we will take a train ride over to where the computer factory is going to be once this finishes out. So this has been a fun project. This was an idea of how to min-max and get as much rubber and plastic out of the crude oil that I could. So using a single node with a 100% overclock, I am producing all of this. The train, I'm very happy with the train network for doing this. So the train's going to come over here. It will come by and just kind of come by my steel plant. We climb an incline and get up above things that are in the way, and we kind of go up above our existing train station that's on the main line and the primary line. I go around my world there. That'll be the main circuit that sort of goes around the map eventually once I go all the way around. But it comes by here, and then as we've seen this part of the network, and comes up a little incline, and heads over straight across through here. This is a pretty much a straight shot over to where I'm going to build the computer factory. Now the computer factory is being built over here in an area not far from a pure Caterium deposit. It will be where I build this. I will need the quick wire components. So with this train goes and picks up the quartz and the copper sheets and the silica, and then it goes and picks up the stuff from the rubber, plastic, and things that are going in there. All of that is being brought in here right now. Right now, it's just being synced right here, not doing anything with it, just bringing it into the Brass C station. And then right here on this pad, which has been prepped, we are going to tear down the existing quick wire factory over there, and we're going to build a factory here for computers. That'll be the next episode. I want to thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate it. If you're enjoying the videos, please leave me a comment and a like, and we'll see you next time.